If fantasy and romance are what you seek, featuring heroines who aren't quite so meek, with book talk and Instagram full of deceit, simply listen to our podcast, Our Picks of the Week. All the sugar is hitting me.
Oh my goodness.
For the readers, we are drinking Starburst Sparkling Ice drinky drinks.
We fancy.
I did not bring them. These are Jordan's.
Okay.
Books.
Focus. What are you reading this week?
I am reading Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I feel like I've talked about this.
Another Ali Hazelwood book.
Oh, surprise. I feel like I've talked about this book before because I tried to read it, I think probably last year when it first came out. I bought it at Costco. Like I thought.
You bought erotica at Costco.
Girl, I know.
The most mom thing you've done.
Honestly, for real. Because I didn't really realize what I was getting into. I just saw Ali Hazelwood and I was like, oh, I love it. And then I opened it up and the little preface she has at the beginning is that this is erotic fiction, not kind of like the STEM rom-coms that she normally does. And I think I was just in a weird headspace because just had a baby. So it's weird reading this book that's very non-emotional, emotional almost. It was a lot. And I was like, okay, this isn't for me. It's very smutty. So I put it down and then I picked it back up as an audiobook probably a little bit ago. Devoured. Absolutely smashed. 10 out of 10. No notes. It was delicious. Perfect, amazing. I loved it.
I cannot imagining. I am. My words are not here anymore.
I feel that.
But listening to,
yeah, you get over the hump, haha, and then you just kind of full send into it. And there's some narrators for audiobooks that are a little bit more slutty than others.
Good for them, though.
I know, honestly, gives you the full immersive experience. I will say though that this is maybe a audiobook if you choose to do it in that format that you maybe don't listen around your kids, because I feel my baby Cakes has listened to all these audiobooks with me because he's not quite at the age to understand words. But I felt uncomfortable with this one. It's a little bit much. It's definitely erotic fiction. I feel like Ali Hazelwood was correct in her little statement.
In comparison to Deep End,
yeah.
What's the level of erotica compared to that?
A lot. It's the beefed up version of Deep End.
Okay.
And I think the first sex scene is at 9%.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's very sex forward, but it kind of fits with the plot though. So this is a girl, her name is Rue. She's very unemotional. She is very upfront, blunt. She has a difficult time connecting with people. I don't know if she's on the spectrum, but she had a really, really traumatizing childhood, a lot of food insecurity too. So if that's a triggering topic, I maybe would skip this one. Very, very troubling childhood, etc. So she does exclusively hookups. She doesn't have any long-term relationships. She's never been in one. She's a little bit older. She has a PhD in some kind of food microbiology, whatever. And so she has matched with this guy that she's he's really interesting. And they're on this, match dating app, whatever. She's at a bar waiting for him and he shows up and she's like, whoa, Jesus, he's hot. But then her estranged brother shows up and he's just absolutely hammered and he kind of accosts her. And you don't really get the context of what this is about, but you kind of find out later that their father, who they didn't know at all, had a house that he left to them in the middle of nowhere cabin. And he wants to sell it because he's not making any money and he needs that financial whatever. And she's like, well, I kind of want to explore this relationship with my dad. I didn't know him, but also I feel weird about it. So I'm not making a decision. But he's like, you need to fucking sell the house. And so he tries to accost her in this bar. And that's where our love interest comes in. Eli, he's like, don't back away. Go off. I don't care where the fuck you go, but leave her alone. And that very
Ooh,
I know, right? The very alpha, but not I hate that term so much, but it's in the very calm, in control of the situation. No, you're not going to do this, dude. Go somewhere else. And he's like, I'm going to drive you home. And she's like, I don't even know you. And he's like, well, you can rifle through my wallet. You can take a picture of my ID card, but I'm going to take you home and ensure that you get home safe. And this guy fucks off. super like, Jesus Christ, like, what is happening? But that's it. They don't hook up. She's like, you missed your shot. Like, I don't do repeats. I'm interested in you, but like, whatever. And so they go home. She like kisses him though and gives him her phone number. And the whole night she's like not revealing what her name is until at the very end. And she's like, she like whispers in his ear. She's like, my name's Rue. And it's like, whoa, Jesus. So they haven't even like touched. And you're like, I'm already into this relationship.
Wow.
Yeah. Next day comes along though, and Rue works for this kind of like tech startup company that is like in its second or third year and it's starting to take off. And her best friend is Florence, who's like the owner of the company. And they have this emergency meeting because the company's loan has been bought out by this like private equity group that buys up tech companies. And so they have this big like all hands meeting. Florence is
I wonder who's associated with the buyout company.
Woohoo! And so she's sitting in the back watching this. She can tell that Florence, her best friend, the like lady who gave her a shot in the world, she's like stressed out and upset. And in comes the Harkness group. And it's these two like really beefy guys, this like cool ditzy, like super smart girl. And then the guy that she almost hooked up with walks in and he is a managing partner. And so that's where kind of like the story progresses is they cannot keep their hands off of each other. And like, it's this like fraught tension. And they also have this thing where they like say the worst thing that they've ever done is like currency in between them. Like, so there's like, you know, no masks, no covers between them. They both know that they're like flawed people. And so like every time they'll like meet, they're like, I did X. And then the other person like says something that they did.
Ooh, that's tricksy.
It's fun. Yeah. And so it's just like, you know, how they manage that. And then there's also some like susness with like Florence that kind of is adding intrigue. Yeah. I feel like the plot is actually paced better in this book than some of Ali's other books. Yeah.
Does the brother make another appearance?
He does, I think, in a couple ones. So we get that kind of like protective, you know, daddy energy from Mr. Eli. Yeah. But yeah, it does explore kind of like power dynamics a lot throughout the book. So some of the smutty scenes are a little bit more than you're probably expecting when you know, sign up on board. But I loved it. Honestly, I would read this again and I probably will.
Will you revisit it as like a regular book to read?
I think so. Like, I probably have like one or two more reads in me. I feel like Bride has more like staying power of like, I loved this. But this was like, it was like good. Like, it'll probably be in my rotation. I'll probably give it, you know, like 5 or 6 years and then be like, oh God, this one was so good. And then read it again. But yeah, it was like, I want to say like, it's like oysters, where it's like, if you see it on the menu, you're like, maybe. And then you like try it and you're like, God, I fucking love oysters. But then you never have it again for like 5 years.
That's an interesting comparison. I had no idea you were going there.
Sorry. But it's also that like meaty, fancy, like this is like interesting, you know, social context dynamics.
You don't eat oysters because you're hungry. That's so I feel like that you're onto something there. Like you don't read this book because you want to read something.
Nope. Not at all. Yeah. So I would say things that are similar. If you like the, you know, workplace dynamic thing, The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I got through like half of it and then I kind of like put it down and forgot about it. But I feel like that's a very quintessential, you know, workplace dynamic. I will also say Deep End by Ali Hazelwood for that same like kind of BDSM themes. But I feel like the protagonist is a little bit more similar to Misery from Bride. I feel like, so it depends on what you want from the book, you know. And then finally, I would say Master of Crows by Grace Draven.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, it's very like, you know, pragmatic. Like they're just very real about themselves and like how they're like flawed people. Like I feel like, what is his name? Silhara, there we go. And Martise, their dynamic is kind of similar. Like in this book, it's just like sluttier. I feel like.
A side note, there are characters we can't remember the name of like the day after we finish the book, but we can remember Silhara and Martise. Read Master of Crows, readers.
Honestly, I feel like I almost started reading it. I was on a flight and I was like, I didn't download. I was raw dogging this flight, honestly. And so I looked what I had like downloaded on my phone and I was like, oh, Master of Crows, here we go. Reread time. But yeah, Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. If you want something a little bit like smuttier without feeling like it's trashy. I feel like that's the sweet spot.
Reasonable.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, from Kitty's shelf to yours.
We'll see you on the next page. Hi, readers. Like what you've been hearing? Check out the Spice Archive at notanotherheroine.com to see all of our reviews and ratings. And if you'd like to support our growing library, find us on Patreon and get access to exclusive bonus content.
If you'd like to just listen, we post new episodes every Monday and Wednesday on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Thanks for listening.